Oh man, Alien Romulus is way better than it had any right to be. Oh man, okay. I'm getting pretty hungry. Oh man, I wonder what I should eat. Oh no. Oh my god, it followed me here. Oh man, not right now, not right now. Oh yes, Factor. Beautiful Factor, yes. How did that even get there? Hey guys, what is up? This is Matthew Davis, me once again. Welcome back to another video game review, which isn't on Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. I am saving that because I'm not even finished with that game yet, but I am going to be talking about a horror game that turns 10 years old this year, and because it's October, this would be the perfect month for me to talk about it, especially since it came out this month 10 years ago. But yeah, this is a game that I never actually got to finish until a few weeks ago. But thanks to Alien Romulus coming out, I was thinking to myself, maybe I should jump back to this game. Because, you know, it's one of those games where I really just wanted to try it and finish it, but the game just gave me so much anxiety that I just decided to be a wimp and never go back to it. But thanks to that movie, I finally jumped back into this game, and I was finally able to finish it, and now I finally can talk about it. And it's the perfect time, too, with its 10-year anniversary just right around the corner. Alien Isolation, known by many to be one of the best movie licensed games of all time, and after finally getting that chance to finish it, I definitely do think it is worthy of that title. When Alien Isolation came out, it came out just a year before another Aliens game came out, Aliens Colonial Marines. A lot of people were hyped for that game, but it turned out to be a major disaster with its awful AI and massive amount of bugs and glitches. And I didn't get to play that game until a few years after it came out. And yeah, it's atrocious, and I think it's one of the worst first-person shooters of all time, and I don't think there's ever going to be a time where that game even tends to redeem itself, especially since it's been over 10 years since that came out. So when Alien Isolation was announced, people had low expectations, but since it's from a different developer this time, not by Gearbox, and how, while it's still first-person, manages to change things up. Instead of it being about aliens, the movie Aliens, it's more about Alien, how it ties in a lot more to that film rather than Aliens, as you play as Amanda Ripley, Ellen Ripley's daughter. And of course, you know, knowing that she might just still be alive, she tends to go and track down her mother. But of course, the AI androids are after her. But not just that, there is, of course, the one that steals the show the most and is supposed to steal the show the most, the alien, the xenomorph. And unlike Aliens, where you could easily take down the aliens, no, you cannot take down this xenomorph, as he is pretty much invincible, and despite the fact that you get a bunch of weapons, you cannot use them against the alien. Except for the flamethrower, as it makes it go away for a little bit, giving you some time to try and, you know, avoid it. But no, this is a lot more of a stealth game rather than an action game, as when that alien is there, you need to hide, you need to use your skills perfectly and get out of the situation that you're in order to get to the next area. Because the save point system, Yeah, the save point system isn't going to do a whole lot for you because the only way you're going to save is by these phone things, and there isn't a whole lot of them out there. So you better make sure you go to those things before continuing on, because if you die from this thing, yeah, it's going to be a major punishment, as you have to go all the way back to that last save point. I mean, once in a while there are those times where there's a part to the game that does allow checkpoints if you do mess up, but that's later down the line. And like I said before, despite the fact that you do get weapons, you do get to use them once in a while, basically against the androids and other people that are on the ship who think you're a threat. But of course, throughout the majority of the game, you are going to be hiding from the alien. And that's really what brings it its atmosphere. This game, when it came out, was praised for its incredible use of AI and how it's done absolutely near perfectly. Because unlike Colonial Marines, the alien actually feels smart. Every single movement you make has to count. And if you make one wrong move, the alien can sense you. And it's going to be worse if you have, the PlayStation camera on you, because it can sense your movement if you're moving and it can hear your voices. So, yeah, you best be careful. But despite the fact that I did have it off, I feel like the thing could still track my senses. So, yeah, I don't think it's best to just not have the PlayStation camera on. Take it off if you need to. That's your best bet, because it's really hard to trust, the accessibilities that you have for your PlayStation sometimes. And of course, despite the fact that this alien will be tracking you, there are ways of you trying to get out of this situation by, of course, the tracker that senses where the alien and other people are. And if that thing is towards you, you better make sure to find a better safe area. You can hide in vents, but be careful, because the alien is also going to be in the vent if you're not careful. Literally, the alien can sense your every single movement, and that's truly what makes this game terrifying, is the alien. There is not a moment to breathe in this game. Whenever that thing shows up, you have to be careful. This is a stealth-heavy game, and it's one that I feel like really pays off. And the fact that it's in a first-person perspective really makes you feel like you're actually there aboard the ship with that alien, and it truly gives this game its full-out tension and that build-up. When you see that alien, you best be careful, because, well, you pretty much get it at this point. It's a 10-year-old game, and if you played it and you came over here to see my review, then you pretty much know what to expect. Now, of course, you're not always defenseless against the alien. You can distract it by crafting things. Yeah, there's a crafting system where you can make syringes to, heal yourself, and you get these other things that can help distract you from the alien, like noisemakers. You can throw it to the alien. Hopefully, it'll see it while you try to find a good enough escape route. Yeah, there's always a way to try getting out, but of course, because the game has kind of a claustrophobic sense behind it, it really makes it feel like there's just absolutely no room to breathe. And when it came out, it got a good amount of acclaim from people. But of course, people like IGN infamously just gave it a 5.9, criticizing it for its poor pacing, the fact that it loses its fear later on, and the frustrating AI, when I think the AI is one of the game's biggest pros. Because, of course, I feel like the AI might be just a little too smart. Because even the droid bots, when they see you, yeah, they're never going to let you on easy. You have to be careful, because you do get a wrench, but even when you try hitting it, it senses your movement and just pushes you away. So you got to make sure to have your ammo on you. But of course, if you do have your ammo and you do shoot the gun, there are some points where the alien might be able to hear that as well. And you do get a shotgun too, which might make things a little bit worse. But, one thing that I was kind of surprised by was just due to the fact that only half of the game uses the alien. As when the alien isn't there, I don't really feel like there isn't as much of, a sense of, just being completely alone, because of course, you can just go in, after these things while the alien isn't there, which I will admit does kind of lose the tension a little bit, because this does happen later on the line. But, that doesn't hide the fact that the game does have a good amount of fan service, dedicated to the original Alien movie, and really giving that sense of tension. Like, of course, there is the part where later on you're in the nest and there are a bunch of xenomorphs after you, And you have to watch out for those face huggers because they are also a one-hit kill. But of course, you can use the flamethrower and just, flame away. But you got to be careful because while it does provide you with a good amount of flamethrower fuel, that flamethrower can just drain it in an instance like that. So you really have to make sure to time it right. There's also this part later down the line where, you go to the ship and it really brings in that atmosphere with you in the astronaut suit and you're just walking with your teammates. And it was a very, very intense moment, despite the fact that it was one of the more calm levels. It definitely made a sense of immersion that really, really paid a lot of service to, Ridley Scott's original classic. And it does a really good job with the fan service as well, in truly giving it that alien feel and that alien tension. So while I'll definitely admit that while it doesn't really feel as scary when the alien isn't there and you're just going on against these droids, it does feel like it's a little bit slower, but hey, it adds in a little bit of action to it. So while it doesn't always have the same tension when the alien isn't around, it does, when the alien does show up, it does give you that tension, and I feel like it's all around super worth it. But of course, it does get very stressful, which is why I held off on it for years and years. But, it was always one of those games where I really, 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 really want to get it through because I'm a massive fan of the license. So all in all, it was a blast from beginning to end. Though what I don't understand is I played the rest of the game on PS5, but apparently there's no 60 FPS, port or whatever, because a lot of other PS4 games have that. But I don't care. It still ran relatively well for me. But yeah. The fact is, the sense of immersion is really what keeps this game going, and it's truly a love letter to people who, grew up with that original film and, enjoyed the tension and horror that the franchise would get later down the line when it does get to the good Alien films, like Alien Romulus. It really brought the horror back, and which is why I feel like a lot of people should go back to play this, which I'm pretty sure some people did. And because this is a first-person game, imagine what the game would be like if it was in VR. Just having a VR Alien experience for this game, it would just be a blast. But then again, because you're going to be dying a lot from the alien, it's more than likely going to make you die of a heart attack. Oh man, okay. I'm getting there. Alright, I'm getting there. You think you can beat me? Oh man, yeah. I could see that happening. I'm sure. As far as I know, nobody did that with any of the VR ports for the Resident Evil games. But hey, I feel like it would be a lot more dangerous if this were to get a VR port. But all around, I feel like it would give it more of a sense of immersion. Even when you have headphones on, it gives you more of that sense of immersion. Just playing this game in the dark with absolutely no one around, just making you feel like you're alone, it truly gives you that tension. And all in all, Alien Isolation, even after 10 years, I think really holds up to this day. While the second half definitely isn't as powerful or intense as that first half, especially when, the alien isn't there and you just fight off against the droids, it does kind of lose its sense of immersion. But the level design, I feel like, really makes it all the more worth it because it never feels like it's just the same old level. I mean, sure, once in a while you will have to backtrack as you go to certain areas, and you'll have to go back to those certain areas, and you'll have to backtrack once in a while. The map system, I think, is pretty helpful as it always shows you where exactly you need to go. Well, not all the time. Sometimes you have to, figure out exactly where you go when, the cursor isn't there. But all in all, it's just a blast from beginning to end, trying to, explore this area, giving it all that tension. And all in all, I still think it's an incredible game and one of the best and scariest horror games to come out in recent memory. Is it recent enough? Because, like I said before, it's 10 years old, but still, it's by far the best Alien game of all time, and I don't think there'll be another game to top it. Hopefully one of these days there will be. But in terms of really giving you that horrific experience that Alien is known for, I don't think there's going to be another game to top this. There might be a game that might have a better story, and I don't know, and maybe make the AI as good as this, but we'll just have to see. They did an incredible job, and I really hope they're proud of themselves after years and years and years of, just playing this horrific experience. And yeah, it's definitely not perfect. It does have its problems, but I feel like there is far more good in this game than bad. It truly does deserve to be called one of the scariest video games of all time. I was satisfied by the end, but the ending, yeah, the ending really wasn't anything special, but I didn't care. I still had a blast with the game, needless to say. So, yeah, I still recommend playing it after all these years. The fact that it's 10 years old, just, it amazes me. And 10 years later, we got an Alien movie that most people can't agree was the best in quite some time. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Word out.